Guys, today is May 27th, 2020. We're at the very end of May. I cannot believe that 2020 is going along so fast. I mean, we're almost done with May and I don't know where the year went. I've had a lot of fun with Mania, almost done. So I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at. I got a couple other finishes. We're also going to go over Parade of Homes. And so I have just lots of stuff to show you, which is super exciting. So I will start with the 20th, which was last Wednesday. And so this bag I got as a gift, and Layla May Designs made it, and it's got my piggy on it. So this is July from Priscilla and Chelsea, and I stitched chickens, which cracked me up. So I stitched this, and then later last Wednesday, and then later in the week I came back and did this. Now I haven't finished all of this. Obviously there's red and blue to pull in. This one is really fun to stitch on because it's Aida. It's easy to see. I can go a little bit faster, and I love that. So I'm not sure that I will finish with June or July for this year, but that's okay. And I'm going to do it all in one piece. So I'm just going to keep going down, and I will have one piece. So, and one thing that I am doing is I'm keeping the needles on my projects. And then when I'm done with the project, I just put it back in my needle book, so I don't get rid of them. But that way I can just keep recycling my needles. So that is July, trucking along. The next day I worked on Snow Village Part 7, and this one, let's see, so this is how I have everything in my bag. It's just like thrown in there. So I just have my floss flowers, and I just grab, because there's so much going on, I just throw it all in here. I'm using DMC, and I'm using a thread pack that I put together with my colors. This is white petty point on gray. And so this was last week's, and this is this week's. And so on the very first day, I was able to just do, I don't even remember, I think this part. And then since I had finished Prim Village earlier in the month, I was able to come back and finish these. This one was really quick because it's just a cart. This one took much longer because of all the fill-in on the house. But I'm super excited. I'm almost caught up. So this week I have to work on Part 8, which is down here. And I'm just a little bit nervous because you start in the center and then you add to the left and the right. And those are easy because it's one space between. And then the top, it's one space between, so it's easy to follow. But going down and adding one space apart, I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done that before. So this is what I'm supposed to be working on today. So after this live stream, I will work on this, and I'm just a little bit nervous about how to start that, but I will get it done. And on this one, because I stitched so much on this one, I now have a callus on my finger. I actually poked through my finger a couple of times, and I started stitching with washi tape on my finger because it was hurting, so I just put washi tape on. So this really, because this one, since it's a smaller, it's 18 count, you know, when you pull through with the needle, you really have to kind of push. And so this kind of hurt my finger, but that's okay. So I'll fold this back up, and I'm going to work on this right after this video. The next day I worked on Feels Like Home, and if you want a hint for Part 5, it's right here. So this is, if you have started Feels Like Home, this is what is coming to you on Friday. And we have these back in stock. The bags are now sold out, but we do have some needle minders left. And so on this one, this only took me 4.5 hours down here. So I'm going to tell you a little dilemma that I had and just be honest and talk through it. So one thing is when I'm stitching with over dyed threads. I stitch in a row so that there's less variegation, just because that's what I like. Now, when I first pulled this thread, it was before we had finished the pattern. So I pulled a tabby, which was this thread. But then when Cheryl was working on it, she said, oh, you need 2 tabbies. So then I bought another tabby. Well, this tabby down here is totally different than the tabby up here. So you can see that it's very light at the top and a lot darker at the bottom. And at first it really bothered me because it was so much variegation compared to, you know, the variegation and the rest. But now I like it and I'm fine with it. So on Friday, if you have signed up for this PDF, you will get your last part, which is right here, and then you will be done. So that's super exciting. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but yes, all hand dyed will have different variegation, and it ended up looking okay. It's just I was kind of in shock and had never had that before. So I'm ready to finish the last part. And we have something super exciting for you for Jolly July that's a similar format to this, since this has worked out really well. The next part is Kringles. And okay, this one is a behemoth. There's really no other word for it. So this took me about 5 hours to do the room. It really wasn't so bad. It's just a lot of start and stop. And so because it took me so long, last night I had a little bit of extra time, so I added the snow at the bottom so that when I go to do the room, I'll have a little bit less to do. But it is definitely, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. It's just a lot of work. So my goal is on Maynia to finish room 3. And then I'm going to take a break from it for a while, and then I will come back to it in Jolly July, just because I feel like this project has taken the most time in Maynia, and sometimes when I spend so much time on one thing, I need a little bit of a break from it. So it's really pretty though. And then Prim Village, I sent that off to Lori Holt. She is going to frame it, and I'll show you the Prim Village that Lori did, but I finished mine. I stitched mine on Overcast. This is stitched on Oatmeal on the modeled side. There we go. So I stitched mine on Overcast, so she's going to get that today or tomorrow, and I got the large square frame from Lori Holt. She took this one, and it's white. It comes white. She painted it in pitchfork paint and framed it herself. So she's going to frame mine, and she's going to paint the frame. I'm not sure what color she's going to frame it. So that's super exciting. And on the back, you can see that she put her library cards on there, which is a brand new Notion. It shows you all your information on your project. And then, so Prim Stitch Series, this is a brand new club that we're doing, and this is part 1, and it's by Lori Holt. It's called Prim Stitch Series. There are 12 parts. It's a pattern club, and you get it every month. You get one new pattern, so this would be the first pattern that ships out in July. Lori finished it with her lace trim, and then these 2 fabrics are from the Prim collection that's coming out soon. She painted this with her Chalky Chicks paint, and this is part 1. So I'm going to now show you part 5, and it's just a little teaser part. And on this, you can stitch it as one piece, or you can stitch it as 2 pieces. And I can't show you the whole thing because it's got the pattern. So this is part 5. And super awesome. I wanted to show you on this. This is a brand new needle minder that we have. It's a sheep needle minder. It's very big, and it was designed by Lori so that it would go on your bitty board. And you can put your scissors and your needle, both, on there. And they will both stick at the same time. And when I was working on, one thing that I did have to do is sometimes I had to put the little word top so I would remember where I was. So this is part 5, and then this week I'm also going to work on part 6. And then after Mania, my very first thing I'm going to do is finish 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, fill them in, send them to Lori to frame so that we can have them for the cover of the pattern, because the cover of the pattern is going to be individual pieces framed like this. Now she is stitching hers as a full piece, and she's almost done. So I got to see hers. She's only got like 2 or 3 more. So that is that day. Put everything back. Oops. And then yesterday, I got to work on the flag from Bent Creek. So this is the pattern. I changed the colors. And you can see I have this Wonder Clip on here, and this is how I keep it in my hand so that I can stitch. So during the day, I finished this part and the red. But then last night I had more time because Investigative Discovery has 9 shows at 9 for 9 days, and I've been watching it, and so I have a lot of extra time, so I finished these. This pattern is actually super easy. I did get a question about where the J is, and I'm going to read you from the pattern what it says. Let me see. I'm going to read it off camera so you don't see the pattern. It says, this is one of the first designs released by Bent Creek in 1995. The flag is missing a J. Some early samplers do not have the letter J in their alphabet because they were not part of the early Latin alphabet, and so the letter I was used for J. So that is where the J is. It's just not there. So this one's super fun, and again, this one I can go super quick because it's Aida. So that is my last one for this week, except I have a couple others that I worked a little bit on. Oops, I don't want to show the pattern. So this one is Glory by Bent Creek. And again, I worked on this one last week, but this week I had a little bit of extra time, so I did this in the car, the little red. And then I'll show you what, so I rode to work with Kevin on Monday. We came to work Monday. And this is what happens when you're stitching in the car and you don't have scissors. I just run the thread under, and then when I come back, I'll cut the thread. So that's something you can do in your car, is just, so I got 2 strands in on the way to work. And this bag is from Dot Dot Goose. And so on all 3 of the Bent Creek that I did for Mania, I used all the same thread colors. So that one I worked, I mean, and even if it's just a tiny bit of stitching, it's something. And then I have another finish. So this is Summer by Little House Needleworks. This is a pattern. This is part of our Gingham on the Go trio bag sets. So it goes with the aqua one I showed earlier. So this one, I finished it. I had on Sunday, there was a really good documentary on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I just sat down and finished it. And I can go pretty fast. On this one, this is all 4 seasons. I made these, and they come with a silk thread. I use the called for silk here, and the only thing I'll tell you is it really bothers me how right here the house goes left at the top, and it's because I don't think it's an even weave. So I don't love it because when it gets framed, it's going to drive me crazy that it's not 100% straight. So I've done 3 of the seasons. This is part of my parade of homes. All I have left is fall. So I'm going to try to finish fall in June. That way I can take all 4 to the framer at one time. My framer did open up this week. They called me on Monday that some pieces are ready, so I need to go pick those up. Yes. So there is that. And then I want to tease one more thing. You'll know that Lori Holt has stitch cards, and they come, they're all numbered. So this is 17, 18, 19, and 20. These are going to be released next Monday for sale on our website. And I'll show them again next week. They're super cute. This one obviously is great for July 4th. And I'm going to show them to you. She has a brand new YouTube channel. We can link it in the comments to the video. And she has a video on how you make these little pillows. So she made all of these. So super cute. And some of you have asked about the wool. So Lori has 2 layer cakes that have wool. And that's what she used. And we have both of them on the website. There's like a warm and a cool. So she turned these into, she used prim 25 count for the front, and then for the back she used vintage happy. It's just all of her fabric. Like this is a Be Basic, vintage happy. I'm not sure which that one is. And the little buttons are from her little button that she sells. So these are coming out on Monday. We're just waiting for them to come from the printer. And so now she has 20 stitch cards. The beauty of the stitch cards is they're all the same dimensions on the inside. And so you could interchange any of her borders with any of the insides. And so you can kind of make it a mix and match. And you can make a bigger piece. You could do a row horizontal or a row vertical. Super cute. So that is that. Let me know if you'll have any questions on any of that before I go on and show you CHERYL'S Mania stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions that came in.
Okay.
Okay, first one from Mary Fowler. She's asking, on 18 count, do you stitch 1 over 1?
On 18 count Aida, I stitch 1 over. It's just Aida, so it's just normal. It's 1 square.
Okay.
How many threads? 2. And it's a little bit, so when I was talking about how my finger got a hole in it, it is, it's tight because you've got 2 threads that you're going over a smaller hole, and so you've got to kind of push it harder, and so that's it's a little bit harder. So I mean, I love the look of it. I didn't want to do a 14 count on that piece because I didn't want something so ginormous that there was nowhere in my house to put it. So I needed to do 18 counts that I could do it as one piece. But do I enjoy stitching on 18 or 16 count? No, absolutely not.
From Amanda Mead, she's asking, at what point do you decide you need a new needle?
Okay, so I break needles. And if I break them or if they just feel too sticky, so usually I'll keep it probably 2 projects. Just if it gets too sticky, like if your hands are sticky or it just gets nasty, or if I break it or if I bend it. But I mean, I don't change them. I mean, I keep them, basically I keep the needle I start with on my project, and then at the end I have a little needle book that Lori made me a long time ago. I'll show it to you. It's my little needle book, and then at the end you can see I put all my needles back in here. So these are like leftovers, and then I have them throughout. I kind of have a mess, but then on the back I have some. So I just keep them wherever in here and just reuse them.
From Stacy Fallon, any way you could stock the canvased almost home bags as a stock item? I think maybe she means feels like home.
So we are sold out. We cannot get more. We got that ordered twice. They sold out. The reason why is a lot of companies are now doing PPE equipment, and so they can't do bags right now as much as they could because they're doing masks for hospitals. We will have a bag for Jolly July, so we will keep, we'll keep doing bags, but that's the reason why we couldn't get more.
From Gail Stale, she says, can't wait to start. Any new Aida 14 count fabrics?
Yeah, so we ordered from Picture This Plus because you guys requested it. So when that comes, there's going to be some 14 count and some 25 count, and we will add other sizes after that. We're just kind of starting with the base. Like most of our customers order Aida. So
from Robin Key Rexroad, what is the finished size of the individual squares of the new prim sampler? Finished size of the individual squares of the prim sampler.
Hold on. So the stitch count is 74 by 74. So 74 by 74. So on 25 count, that's about 6 inches square. And then she's got on the back, she's doing my little stitch card, so I don't have to do it.
From Kathy Knit, I love Snow Village. Is this from a kit or in a club?
So basically, Prim Village is now, it's patterns. So there are 8 patterns out now. The 9th pattern is coming any day. 10, 11, and 12 is coming later in the year. I have a thread pack that I used. It's kind of a starter pack because you might run out of some of the colors. And that's what I used. We're out of it, but we're going to make more. And the fabric that I use is the Petty Point on gray 18 count. So I kind of just piecemealed it together.
From Angela Stoudinger, when will Feels Like Home be available as a paper pattern?
It won't. We're doing that just as a PDF.
Oh, and Lori Holt says, that will change when it gets framed. They will stretch, Kimberly, about, yes. The summer monochromatic.
Oh, yeah. I hope they make it straight. I don't know. I'm really nervous on that one.
From Deborah Taylor, who is your framer in Austin?
So I use Frameworks on East 5th.
Oh.
They have a lot of like cool artwork in there. Like local artists. They have like local jewelry. They have all kinds of stuff. And the reason I go there is they have a ton of frames. So I know that if I go there, they will have, and they give me advice too. That's also helpful. You know, I can say, do you like this? They'll say, no, that's ugly. Or, you know what I mean? Like they will be honest with me about if they think it is good or bad.
Doodle Stitcher was asking, will there be a tutorial for the needle book? I'd love to do one and it would make great gifts.
Lori is going to do one on her channel. So subscribe to her channel, which is called Lori Holt.
It's Lori Holt. We do have a link for it that we can post in the comments, so you guys can go subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, and she's got 3 videos already, and so she's going to do the needle book.
I love how her nails are always like done to match the video, by the way, if
Yes.
anyone has seen them.
Yeah, so her daughter, Cassidy, who is super awesome, does her nails and films her. So it's all very cool. And then Cassidy's teaching her how to edit film, so that's super exciting.
Aww.
That'd be like Lily trying to teach me, but I'd be like, I quit. I'm not doing it.
That's funny.
I was actually watching someone who does videos, and he said that what he does, and I mean, he's got a very big channel, he edits everything and does it on his phone. I'm like, dude, like, you got a big channel. You could move from your phone to the computer. Oh, it kind of boggled my mind.
Yeah. Everyone has a different style. Okay. From Greta Carter, are you going to show the projects for Jolly July so we can get the patterns too?
Yes. So we're going to do Jolly July in 2 weeks. And next week, I'm going to do just kind of a patriotic, just show you a lot of patriotic stuff that I've made in the past. And then the week after, we're going to do Jolly July.
And a few people are asking about your t-shirt, where you got it.
Oh, okay. So this came in. It says "Don't Cross Me," and then it's a me with an X. I don't remember ordering this, but we ordered this from Riley Blake Designs, and Amanda, who works works on our content team. She was like, "You should wear this in the live stream." I was like, "What is that?" She's like, "We sell it." I'm like, "What?" I don't remember buying it. So it's a cute little it's a new shirt. It's just called Don't Cross Me. We don't have that many of them. It comes in like small, medium, large, extra large. And then I have to take Emma to the doctor today. So I was like, I think I need to change my shirt because that just seems odd to go in the doctor. She's going to be like, that lady is weird. Like, she's not going to understand it.
Don't cross.
She's going to be like, she's so weird. So I am going to change my shirt when I get home.
Yeah. So we carried it at Fat Quarter Shop. It is super soft, by the way.
Are you going to get one?
I don't know. Maybe. I feel like it matches my skin tone a little too closely.
It does. Yeah, that's true.
But it's fun.
I know. I was like trying to see if I had a necklace to make it look better, and I was like, yeah, no. Like to make it, because I tried to like look a little bit nicer, but I was like, oh no, I don't have anything.
From Janet Dabber, how do you find a framer? What questions do you feel comfortable that they will treat your stitch piece correctly? Do you ask to feel comfortable? Sorry.
I really don't know. I found this framer when Emma was born. So she is now 13, and I had made her a huge baby sampler. I mean, huge. And I don't even know how I found them. I just found them and used them, and I like them. And they're reliable. They are a little bit slow and they are expensive, but if you go to Michael's, it's about the same, except at Michael's you can use a coupon. But for me, that would never really work, because when I go to the framer, like when I go, I have 4 things to give them. So if I went to Michael's and gave it to them, I would have a coupon, but it would only work on one thing. So.
From Angela Stoudinger, did you find out if your July is at the framer?
I'm going to ask when I go, but I think it's at my house somewhere. I still can't find it. I don't know. I am going to go through all my stuff, though, again, because I'm going to bring in next week all of the patriotic stuff I have. So I was hoping that when I go through all of that, that I'll find stuff. But we will see. I even looked again last night because I brought May with me, and I was looking, and I was like, oh.
That's funny.
It's not funny.
It's like one of those things that you're going to find when you're not looking for it. Like,
yeah,
it's just going to appear. From Kathy Birch, she says, Kimberly, you were right. It is getting easier to work on Lugana the further I get on my Feels Like Home.
Yes.
Nice. From Laura Hafner, she said, good morning. Newbie here. Kimberly, you rock.
Oh, thanks.
Sweet, Laura. Thank you. From Renee Scow, is there DMC conversions for Prim Stitch? I didn't do Prim Village and can't afford the Orifloss box right now, but want to do the series.
Yes. So on the Prim Orifloss box, which is in my office, I forgot to bring it in here. So that box is Aurifil. We have like 80 left. We will not, once that is gone, I won't have more until the end of June, because Italy was closed down for like 2 months. So we are going to have more Prim Orifloss boxes. But because of that, we have made a DMC pack. It's sold out in like 2 days. So we're going to make more. And DMC is really coming in now. So now we're getting Gentle Art shipments. We're getting DMC shipments. We're getting Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works. All the thread is starting to like start shipping back in. So we're going to order like a ton more. And then as it comes in, we allocate and make more. So we are going to have some DMC packs. Yeah. We weren't planning on it, but since we're low on Aurifloss, I want to be able to have that option.
Mm-hmm. And then I did see a few people in the comments asking if we just had any update on our shipping times.
It is 15 to 20 days.
Okay, cool. And is there a time when they should check in on their order? Like if it's
after 15 or 20 days.
Right.
Yeah, and we're hoping to kind of catch up on that. What's happened is we had a holiday. So you have a holiday on a Sunday. You have people who take all weekend off because it's a holiday. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can't make people work. I mean, people have to live. So we're hiring. We're doing all kinds of things. But again, when we fill orders, there is social distancing. So not all the orders can be filled as fast because different people have to be stationed different places. So until there is no more social distancing, we're going to be behind in some way because we cannot be as efficient. In fact, we're super inefficient, but it's what we have to do. Mm-hmm. And it's not a good answer, and it's not an answer that I like, and it's probably why I can't sleep at night. Mm-hmm. So.
All right. From Adrian Bernardine, will the thread pack for Santa's Village be restocked?
Yes.
Okay, from S. Ward, newish subscriber and first time with the live chat. Welcome. From Roseville, California, I was late in the sew-along, but I'm hoping there will be a new one in the near future. Do you have plans for another one?
Can you hand me the okay, so we are going to do a sew-along with Singing in the Rain. We are waiting on the thread to arrive maybe this week. So we will have a sew-along with this. We will obviously be showing this as a sew-along. And we will have a Jolly July sew-along. So Jolly July we will feature in 2 weeks. And I just want to show you this again. So our Stitch Quarterly, we are about to ship and package our second shipment. So if you didn't get in on Stitch Quarterly and you still want to, this was our first pattern from it, just so you can see kind of our designs. So if you still want to get in that, we've got a couple of spots.
From Cynthia Garr, she said, "Good morning from the Christmas city, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm excited to be here as this is my first time watching live."
Yay!
Welcome, Cynthia. All right, and then we did have a super chat from Susan Summers for $2.99.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Yay.
And Super Piggy. Piggy's my dog.
Yes, for those of you watching live for the first time.
He behaved yesterday for like the first time in a month.
Aww.
He's
good.
really bad. So I want to show you CHERYL'S Mania. So Cheryl is our resident stitcher. I haven't seen her in a couple of months, but she sent this in to us via text yesterday. So her first mania is the Miss Isabelle Black pattern by Scattered Seed Samplers. And she's stitching on 32 count from her stash, and she is using the called for DMC. And then the next one is a newer pattern called Liberty Lodge by Plum Street Samplers, and she's stitching on 32 count from her stash, and she changed DMC 822 to DMC 3865, and she is using the rest of the called for colors. So those are her two manias, and then I'm going to show you all of our Parade of Homes. So Parade of Homes was something that we started in January just to kind of encourage or inspire you to stitch one thing a month. And so we thought houses, everybody loves houses. You know, some people like red houses and blue houses, and some people just stitch houses. So this is one of my Parade of Homes. This is May by Country Cottage Needleworks. I stitched on 14 count Lambswool, and I used the called for DMC on all of mine. And this is what we were talking about earlier. I lost my July. So that's super sad. I'll find it. The next one is Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks, and we're going to pop that image up. That is Cheryl. Stitch that at home. And so she's making it as one piece. So look at how pretty that is. It's so pretty. That would take forever. And then the next one is there's Snow Place Like Home by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this one has 5 parts. So this is 3 of the 5. She stitched on Lambswool 14 count, and Angel stitched it. So she's almost done with part 3. The next one is, it's a big piece. Deborah is stitching this on raw silver 32 count Belfast by Zweigart. She's using the called for colors, and she's going to stitch this as one piece. It's the Glitter Village series by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I really want to do this series. I just have to figure out when I would have time, but it is so pretty. The next one is so awesome. This is Frosty Forest. Shelby is stitching this. It is a 9-part series. She's stitching on Country French Rain 32 count, and she's using a combination of DMC and Weeks Dye Works. And you can see on the edge she used masking tape to, so a lot of people ask, you know, how do you keep it from fraying? So if you don't have a sewing machine, you can put masking tape. Painter's tape will come off, but masking tape will not. And the very last one is Denise's. So,
Yay.
yeah, so she is working on Gingerbread Village. She's doing all of them separately, and she's working on 16 count Lambswool, and she's using all the called for DMCs. So that is our Parade of Homes. Let me know if you'll have any questions on any of that.
I'll wait for questions to roll in on that. A few people had questions about the pillow. Katrina E says, what is the brown fabric on it?
This is whitewashed board 14 count by Fabric Flair.
And I think they were also asking about the gam.
This is a Riley Blake. We'll have to put in the comments. It is C450-90. And then this background is a Farm Girl Vintage print. And this is the back, and we have a video on how to make it. Yeah. How to turn it into a pillow.
Mary Kane says, can we purchase the yellow fabric from the home pillow separately? I love it.
Yes. Can you tell me the SKU? We'll look up the SKU real quick.
All right. And then a few people are asking about the fit of the shirt, how long it is.
So this is a large, and I usually wear extra large. Mm-hmm. So I don't like things to be really tight, so I think it fits about normal. I mean, I haven't washed it. Mm-hmm. So if I don't know if that tells you anything.
And it does have a good length to it, like it doesn't just stop at your waist.
Yeah, so it's like...
Ooh. Nice and comfy. Okay. From Caroline Hopkins, love Kringles. Do you still have thread packs, and do you ship to the UK?
Kringles thread packs. We should have more. We're just waiting on all the thread packs. We look at those to allocate those every day, and as DMC comes in, we allocate them. And yes, we do ship to the UK.
Okay. And from Gail Stale, is Parade of Homes sold as a kit?
No, Parade of Homes was more of just everyone picking their own parade, and it just kind of keeps you going every month, and it was just an idea that we had just to keep, kind of build a community here of people who want to stitch together.
From Deborah O'Keefe, I just purchased Santa's Village. What fabric are you using? Thank you.
She's using platinum, I believe.
This is Frosty Forest. Hold on. Santa's Village. Hold on. She is using platinum 32 count Lugana by Zweigart. And for the yellow on this pillow, it is 7886 Honey. It is a Lori Holt fabric.
Honey.
Well, that's what she calls her husband. She calls him Mr. Honey.
He's Mr. Honey. Oh, that's so sweet. Sylvia Martinez says, is there a different feel between Aurifil and DMC?
Yes. So I think Aurifil is more flat. I feel like it tangles less, but it's more of just, I think it's slightly thinner, but slightly.
All right. And then we have a lot of people being super nice and supportive in the comments. I'm going to read you a few. From Karen Sharp. She said, Kimberly, don't stress about your current shipping times. We love, in all caps, Fat Quarter Shop, and you were worth waiting for.
Thank you.
Thank you. From Fiona's Craft Cottage, don't stress, Kimberly. You guys are doing great. And she put a little heart.
Aw.
Shelly Edwards says, you guys are doing great. Susan Engel says, we don't need everything immediately. We know you do the best you can. We can learn to be patient.
Thanks. Not everybody can learn, but some can.
We appreciate you guys.
I mean, I totally get it. I place orders too, so I get it.
Yeah. And then from Lindy Overton, did I hear you're going to be interviewed on Fiber Talk?
I am. So Thursday, I'm going to be interviewed. I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh, it's going to go great. From Kathy Gomez, sorry. Was there a floss fix this month?
Yes, it's shipped in the beginning of May. And if you want to know Fiber Talk, it is a podcast by Gary Parr and Bonna Pfeiffer. It is on both anywhere you can get a podcast, like Apple, or it's on YouTube also.
From Martha R., could you give us a little close-up of the little framed house on the table?
Yeah. Can you change the angle? So on this, I do have glass on it. And I just do the museum glass. And this frame, we now sell them. We have sold out of some of them. It is by Family Tree Frame Company. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask her.
Sorry, I think they're talking about this one.
No, the next one.
The other one.
Okay, well, I'll show you this one anyway. Okay, we'll just do a display. This is this one. Of course I can't. Okay, so this is Prim Village if you just made one house. And so I stitched this. This is a frame from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. and Lori framed it, and then she put her library card in it. But it's just a simple frame, and then she did not put the glass back in it. Yep. And so it's just something, you know, that's the best thing about cross stitch is you can just go to the store and find something. I was trying to find something to frame one of the flags that I did because it came out square, but I went to Home Goods and there was nothing that was similar. And then, yeah, I was also like, I went to Home Goods and I was like, let me get in, let me get out. Like, let me just get in and out real quick. But they, yeah. And I was getting confused. It was so funny in Home Goods. I was like, I was by myself, first of all. And so on the floor, there were these little lines that say, go this way, like walk this way, right? So you're walking around the store, but then you would go to the end and then there'd be nowhere to go. So then it was like me and the lady, we were like looking at each other like, we don't know which way to go. And it was like just me and that lady in that store. And we were trying to like follow, we could both tell we were trying to follow the lines on the floor, but neither her or I could figure it out. So we were like, just like, we were so confused. And then I was just cracking up. Like, what is going on in the store? Because I never could figure it out. And then I didn't feel so bad because the other lady couldn't figure it out. I think the people who did it just didn't like, because there's two lines and they both were going this way. And I'm like, well, it needs to go this way and this way. But I think the people were challenged when they put it on the floor.
From Vita Tobias, what's the quilt on the top of your table?
This is just a freebie that we did. It's a free pattern called Maple Leaf.
Maple Leaf.
It is on our Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel, and it's just a free block, and I made it. We need to change it out. We're trying to come up with something that goes with cross stitch, but doesn't take away from it. And what is good about this one is it's a faded. It's a little bit faded, so we'd have to come up with something that, you know, isn't too busy. And we just haven't figured out what to make.
Sorry. Okay. From Annie Shaw, LOL, I do appreciate all of your hard work for us. I'm just wondering if you will ever do a catalog of products. I know you are busy as it is, and it would be an extremely amount of work.
No catalogs. No paper catalogs. There's no way.
That would be a big catalog.
I think Kevin would have a heart attack.
From Nita Pool, should cross stitch be framed with or without glass?
So that's totally up to you. So if I take it to the framer, I do frames. I do glass. If I send it to Lori or Priscilla, they don't use glass. So it's kind of, if I took everything that I did to a framer, I would be completely broke. I wouldn't be able to, it's too expensive. So it's up to you. I know on things like this, they're timeless. I know where I'm going to store them. I'm going to stack them all on top of each other. My kids get in there. So anything like this, I'll store it where I know my kids can't mess it up. But the stuff that doesn't have glass, I put it in a closet or in a piece of furniture that has stuff on top of it. So I know my kids won't get in there and start messing with it. So it's just, it's all just personal preference. It's up to you. But I know I'll keep this forever. It's kind of timeless. You know, the pattern's been around a while. I don't think the colors are going to go in and out of style. So I'm going to have it a long time. So I just figured I'd put glass on it.
From Kathy Gomes, what color was the last floss fix?
Whites.
From Lori Holt, she said, I have an idea for your table topper. LOL.
Oh my gosh, please text me. Call me.
Yes.
I can call you on my way to home around 1 o'clock.
Oh.
Yes, we need an idea because me and Denise have like talked it over. We keep going around and it's just sometimes if you think about something and you get stuck, you just overthink it. And so it's kind of one of those things that we can't get to it. So I wanted to let you know that today's flash sale is 50% off the Daisy 10 count. And on every Wednesday, we are doing a cross-stitch flash sale. So just to kind of let you know, if you're a cross-stitcher and you're shopping on Fat Quarter Shop, you should look every Wednesday so that you get a good deal on something. And that's it, guys. I will see you next week. I'm going to have a lot of patriotic stuff to show you. Thank you for spending your day with me. I truly appreciate it, and I'm truly honored that you watch me. And I would love for you to subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next week.
Bye, guys.